When we are becoming our bodies, when we are becoming ourselves, we are coming from the state of formless God through the abstraction into our bodies. Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about my theory on the abstract spectrum. The abstract spectrum is something that encompasses truly everything, so it makes it both complicated and simple at the same time. But today I'm going to keep it relatively simple because I just want to be introducing this theory. This is a theory I've developed from studying extensive knowledge on spirituality, and though it is not my theory, I believe that nothing is truly ours, everything is God's. It was channeled through me, but the ancient Hindus knew about this quite well. So my knowledge is actually T-shaped, so I've studied a wide range of faiths, but my deepest knowledge is in Buddhism and Hinduism. You must have heard the phrase that God is everything. How can God be everything if God is also considered to be outside of us, something that helps us, something that doesn't really have a shape or form? This theory actually explains this. It also encompasses how God is actually within us too. Basically, God is both nothing and everything at the same time. So you can consider nothing 0, everything 1. I actually think computers are quite spiritual for this reason because they use the duality of 0 and 1. So between nothing and everything, God doesn't jump from one to the other. Basically, there's a wide range and a spectrum in between that God transitions from nothing into everything. And this is what the abstract spectrum encompasses because most of this is abstract. And this is oneness. All of it together is what makes it one. Nothing is in fact way more than everything. In the molecules of this world, there is so much more space than there is actual molecules. The reality that we're familiar with on a day-to-day basis is the reality of everything, where things are divided, where we feel like things are just themselves. There's the mouse, there's a chapstick, there's a stress ball. Things are separate, and we consider them separately too. But this is something that our ego needs in order to help with our survival. We have to identify things individually in order to understand them, grasp them, and use them for our own benefits. If you know Maslow's hierarchy, it basically shows that survival is the most important thing, and through that we can find self-actualization. So of course, taking care of our body, our mind, is the first step to realizing our spiritual oneness. And that is also encompassed in the chakra system as well. But the ego does ultimately get in our way when it comes to realizing God's formlessness. Yes, God is in the material items as well, but we can't really connect to God's everythingness when we only look at one part of this spectrum. When we're only aligned with one side of duality, we can't understand how both of these things work together and embody the form of God. So we have to abstract our reality in order to connect to it. So this is something that I will be talking about later in my other videos. I'll be going more into things like abstract art and music that doesn't have words, and it connects us to the shapes and sounds that are more aligned with things that do not have an identification. They're simply things that we can feel, things that are more aligned with nothing, but it's beautiful to us and we are connected to it, and we need this connection to nothingness. If you realize it, there's actually no purpose to art, there's no purpose to music or dancing. These are all things that connect us to the higher form of God. Hawking's scale of emotionality also encompasses this because higher emotions are more positive and lower emotions are negative. But this also encompasses the duality because higher up, when God is nothing, it's a lot more positive. We feel loved, we feel peace. But lower down, there's a lot more fear and we feel a lot of negative emotions. We feel fearful, we feel angry, we do not feel peace in this area. And this lower area is the area of our reality where everything is separate from us. When we rise in the oneness of everything, we feel that everything is a part of us, not in terms of control, but in terms of being one with everything and feeling peace in that and feeling like you can surrender and let go to it. The first step to realizing this nothingness is that surrender itself. We must surrender our ego's perception of this reality in terms of our survival or our benefit in order to connect to this nothingness. And this is actually the challenge that God has given us. It is actually by divine design that our ego holds us back from realizing oneness. This also is encompassed by the process of involution and evolution. So when we are becoming our bodies, when we are becoming ourselves, we are coming from the state of formless God through the abstraction into our bodies. This is actually called involution. So we are involving ourselves in the reality of this world and forgetting our true nature, our true self of being God itself. And then our evolution, which is evolving out of this state of being involved in the reality, is coming back through the abstraction and realizing that you are this as well. So of course we are this part. We do already identify with our bodies, with our lives and our past, but this ultimately gives us a lot of negativity. Just like the Hawkins scale, on the lower part there's fear and negativity, and when we return back through the abstract spectrum, we connect with things such as music, or things such as helping our consciousness expand through psychology or through spirituality. We can expand back this way, and that is called evolution. I'll be definitely going in depth about this much more later, but I want you to remember that it's all about duality. If we can understand and grasp both parts, then we can combine this duality. You are always already familiar with one side of this duality. It's grasping the other side that helps you feel the oneness and peace of everything. So thank you for coming today. I hope you like this video. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be making a lot more of this content because I'm very passionate about it, and there's always a lot I can say. Thank you.